Hi traders, welcome to AlgoTrading Live. Tonight's video we're going to be doing another EA, a DAX EA, no coding. I love trading DAX, so basically we're going to do 4 EAs or 3 more without coding. We're going to do crude oil, DAX, and then another video we're going to do the US tech. So if you guys enjoy these videos, you must subscribe, hit the notifications. It's better if you're online with me. You could ask questions. Ask me anything while we're actually doing it. It's just a little bit difficult to get back to you guys after the videos finish. So hit subscribe, hit the notifications, and let's get into it. Okay, as we have done before, we open up our Metatrader editor and we hit the IDE button. Now I already know DAX. Again, I've been trading DAX for many years. I know that mean reversion strategy works. So actually, maybe if we got time, we'll build 2 mean reversion strategies. We had good success with the CCI and the MA on gold, so maybe try that on DAX as well. And then we build another one just using the MA and RSI. Alright, so let's build our first one. Again, we're going to expand net experts. You guys could create your own folder in here, call it whatever you want. I've got a no coding folder. I'm putting all our no coding experts into it. Alright, let's go. Okay, so I'm going to create new file, right click, click new file, expert generate, next, and then we're going to call this, let's do the RSI first. We call this DAX RSI. DAX RSI. Okay. These you leave as default. Then the first indicator we're going to add is the moving average. Okay, we just leave it as the default settings. We'll set them in the optimization. And we're going to add an RSI. Okay. That's it. We're going to use a trailing stop based on fixed level. You guys could choose what you want. I mean, if you want to use on trailing stop based on MA, parabolic ZAR, or not use it, but I like fixed level, so you could do it to whatever you want. You could try it, test it out, play around with the settings, play around with everything until you find something that works for you. Next, and then we're going to trade with fixed risks. As I explained many times, I prefer using risk. It means you can set it at a percentage and you never have to edit the lot size again. Finish. Okay, so there's our DAX RSI. Now what do we have to do? We have to compile it. Okay. Chats. No. Okay. Now go back into our editor. Let me just close this. We can come back and look at trades later, but I just want to have more space when we do the testing. Here we have the DAX RSI. After you compile, it will appear under the folder that you created. So we right click DAX RSI and we say test. And it's going to open up your strategy tester now. Okay, so first thing I want to do is change that to DAX. Let's try the 1 hour period. We could try different periods afterwards. Let's try 1 hour period first and see what results we get. If we don't get great results, we'll run the same optimization on a daily period. Let's just do it for last 2 years. That's fine. To today. 1 minute OHLC. We want a fast generic based algorithm and we want to have it set to complex criterion. Okay, so let's set the inputs. Okay, so thresholds, we're going to put that in. Still really not really sure what that does, but let's go up in steps of 10. So we have less optimizations. Okay, price level to execute deal. We'll keep it as 0. Stop levels. Now we need to see what is the stop level for DAX. So open up our symbols. go to indices, click DAX, and our stop levels are 40. So we're going to go up in increments of 40. Alright, we'll do that for the trailing stops and for the stop loss and take profit. So we're going to start at 0, because we might not want a stop loss. Okay. 0, and then we're going to go up in steps of 40. And let's go to, I don't know, some ridiculous number, 1000. Okay, moving average period, we're going to set that. So we're going to start at, let's start at 5, go up in 5s, and we'll go to the, let's go to 300-day moving average. Okay, time shift, we don't want to shift the moving average, we want a exponential moving average. We're going to do on the close price. Now we're going to do the weight. So let's start at 0, and we'll go up in 0.1, and we'll go to, I think it's 1. Yeah. Relative strength index, we're going to optimize that. So let's start, this is the period, the calculation period. So we're going to start at 2, go up in 1, and we'll go to 20. Weight, we'll do the same thing that we did for the moving average. We'll start at 0, go up in steps of 0.1, and we'll go to 1. Stop loss, we're going to also do that. We're going to start at 0, go up in 40, and we'll go to 4,000. And trailing stop, we're going to start at 0, go up in 40, and we're going to go up to 4,000. Okay, and then risk percentage, we could also optimize to see what the best risk level is, risk reward ratio is. Go up in 1, and we'll go up to 5. Okay, so that's the optimizations. So again, I'm going to run it on the cloud network. As I've explained before, it's shared computing power, so you're using other people's computers to actually run your optimizations. You need to have money in your MQL5 account. Then all you need to do is you click this thing and you log into your MQL5 account, and then you'll see your balance that you have in your MQL5 account, and the money will be deducted from this balance. Just one thing to remember: if you do a slow complete algorithm, it will cost you $30, $40, $50 per optimization. That's one thing I didn't mention before. Always use fast generic if you're using the cloud network. It's very, very expensive to do a slow complete algorithm on the cloud network, especially if you're doing a lot of optimization parameters. Rather do fast generic, get a basic idea of what you want, and if you want to tweak it on slow complete, then just do 15, 20 optimizations, like very few optimizations. But very important, if you don't slow complete optimized algorithm, it's going to cost a lot of money. So just remember that when optimizing. Okay, so I think we've got our inputs, everything's ready. Let's run our optimization. And if this one doesn't work out, we'll try the CCI as well, or we'll try it on different time frames. But I do have a current DAX mean reversion strategy running on my algos at the moment that I wrote myself, and it is doing very nicely. So I have confidence in the mean reversion strategies on DAX. Okay, let's see if we're getting any results. There's one decent result there. Yeah, there's a few decent things in there. Essentially what we're looking for is the highest profit, the least drawdown, and the highest result. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so not getting amazing results so far. Let's just check what we've got so far. Yeah, it's not great so far. So what we can try to do maybe is we run it on the, we're doing, starting with 5,000, so we're doing about, it's about 30%. Not great over a 2-year period if you're running algo. Nice that the drawdown is quite low. Good. Okay, so yes, there are some decent ones. That's not bad. So it's a 2-period RSI, which I know works very well. 7. Okay, so let's run this one and see what it is. It's about 80% profit, which is not bad. Let's run that one. Not bad. Let's look at the back test. The drawdown's nice, less than 10%. It's only 38% win ratio, which is not great. So I suggest let's try this on, let's run it on the daily. Let's see what sort of results we get. And while that's running, let's build another one. We're going to do the CCI, the same as we did with gold, and let's see what results we get with that. We're going to go new file, generate DAX CCI. Next, and we could go through this pretty quickly now. We're going to add a moving average. And we're going to add the CCI. Next, trailing stop based on fixed levels. And trading with fixed risk. Finished. Okay, so there's our DAX CCI. We're going to compile that. And let's see what sort of results we get on that. And you can see how quickly you could build an algo and test it, run it. It takes incredibly quick to do that. Okay, so the results are better. The results are better, but the number of the profit is not that great. So let's just look at our profit margin and just see if we've got anything. See, because it takes less trades. Yeah, so it's better on the 1 hour chart. Let's just see when, yeah, quickly we're doing about 20%. I mean, look at that. That's an equity curve. 99% win rate, 1 loss in a year. That can't be right. Let's have a look at what's that doing. So 30-day moving, 230 period moving average, weighted at 0.3. The RSI is a 2-period RSI and it works on the close price. I mean, I suppose it could be right. Let's run that. And we increase our risk percentage to 5. And let's see what sort of results we get. Pretty much the same. Okay, well that's a good result, but I don't know if it's how accurate it is. I mean, it's run it. Let's have a look at our trades. So if you want to look at the trades, you right click on the back test and you say deals. I must have a very small take profit. So it's essentially just a scalping strategy. Okay, well it works. So I mean, you could try it out. Right. Let's test out our RSI. So Results are not great with the RSI, so let's test out the CCI. We can do it for the same period. Let's start on the H1 chart. Fast generic based algorithm. Okay, so now we're going to have to do this thing again. Go up in tens. Was it 40? Start at 0, start at 0. 40, 40, 1,000, 1,000. Moving average period will start at 5, we go up in 5s, go to 300. We want the exponential. Close price, weight, so we're going to start at 0, go 0.1, 1. That we're going to start at 2, go up in 1, and we'll go to 20. Come on, close price, waiting, start at 0, go up in 0.1, and we go to 1. That also start at 0, go 40, 40, 1,000, 1,000. Okay, and then risk, we'll start at 1%, we'll go up in 1, and we'll go to 5. Alright, let's run this one quickly. See what sort of results we get with that. So you can see, I mean, you could play with it, try the different oscillators. I mean, what's the time? We could even do a few more until we can find something that works for the DAX. I think this is running daily chart. Anyway, I could run on the daily chart first. Oh, that's H1, okay. That is weird. Not phenomenal, but that's an equity curve, not a single loss in 2 years. So we're only taking $3.20 per trade. Okay, it looks like CCI is having a little bit better results. Still not massive profits, but I mean you could run. Now if you got an algo that's generating you 20-30% per annum, that's decent with low risk. It's pretty decent if you ask me. Let's see if we've got anything decent here. Wow, 41,000. The drawdown of that is way too high. Okay, so let's actually filter out with the 0 trades, losses. I'm going to filter drawdown less than 50, just so we got a cleaner list. Okay. Okay, we're getting some decent, about 50% returns, which is still not bad. Very low drawdown, which is nice. I mean, I'm happy with the 50% returns. I'll take that any day. With a 2% drawdown, 2.8% drawdown, I'll take that any day. So let's sort by profit, and we'll find the highest. So anything above 70, 80, I like to look above 80. Then you know you've got something that could run, you know, basically going forward. You don't really have to. Here we go. That's probably our best. So 50% returns. Let's actually run that one. See what we got. That's a nice equity curve. Let's look at our back test. 99%. That's an excellent algo. Our drawdown 2.8. Our balance drawdown is 0.12%. Let's look at our deals. That's pretty good. See, it's stable. I mean, it's a stable system. Just gains. I mean, if you're not making a lot per trade, but you're doing quite a few trades. Just look at the back test. You're doing 164 trades. And you take a little pieces off every trade. I like this. This is nice. I could use this. Let's do something here while we let's do something crazy. Let's do some sort of scalping strategy. Let's see how it behaves on 1 minute chart, and let's see get any decent results here. So I mean, you see like if you add the Bitcoin one that I built, the gold one that I built, the DAX one, you're doing 300-400% per annum with very low drawdown. I mean, I'll take that any day. It looks like we've got some decent action here on the 1 minute. Get a little scalper gain. Okay, so while that's running, actually let's have a look at some trades. Okay, so I've taken a gold trade, taken a manual trade. My rationale is that I had a support area here. Support area, if we just scroll out, there's a support area which had number of touches. It was acting as resistance, then it went above it and then came back, and it's been acting as support. So that's the first support area. So I put a small trade in there, small stop loss, but if it goes further down, this is where I'm going to go big. At this level here, the 1750 area. That's when I'm going to put a big trade in. US Tech I haven't traded. This is just not doing much at the moment. I mean, we've got this trend line that's just sort of in the middle of crude's been good. Crude, if you had have traded this trend line, you'd be doing very nicely at the moment because it keeps retesting and then it drops. Drops, retested again, drops, tested the trend line again, and now it's dropped again. This would have been, I mean, you could have taken this trade all the way down. Very, very good trade. I didn't take it because the macros and everything like that. I was a bit worried about gold, but it's been behaving perfectly with the trend line. And what you see now is that the 50-day moving average is about to drop below the 200-day moving average, which is a very bearish signal. So this is going to drop more. I think we're going to have $60 gold pretty soon. I mean, oil. This is something you might want to get into. I'll just wait for another test of this downward trend, and then I'll go in. And DAX is also the same as NASDAQ. It's just in the middle of nowhere. RSI is high. It needs a retrace. It needs a pullback. So what I'll do is, if the RSI gets above, there's RSI 2 on the daily chart. If it gets above 95, I'll look for a short. Because this is already, the stock's already overbought on the daily chart. This needs a retrace. And if we break this trend line, it's going to come down to this first support area, probably resist, go back, and then come down again. But either what could happen, it's going to test the upper support, but this definitely needs to come down. The stock is too high. It's been at this level 97 now for a couple of days. It needs to come down. It needs to test above 95 and then come down, and maybe we'll get a trade in on that retracement. Okay, let's look at our results. Okay, so we've got some big profits. Let's look at anything that's of 80. The reason I look, I mean, you could pick any of these. I mean, you could put this one if you want. It's got a 48% drawdown. I mean, this one's alright. It's got a, you know, a 13% drawdown, which is not bad. So let's run this and see why it's only scored 69. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not really terrible, but I mean, you're making what, over 400%, which is not bad. But you know, I really do like to have a high result. See optimization results. I like to have a over 80. Then you know you got something solid. Then you know you got something that's. I mean, look here, you can see this is 78, but it's got 3.57% drawdown and sharp rate of 2.42, which is extremely good. I would rather run 10 of these types than run one that you get a 200-300% per annum. To me, that's much nicer. There's not too many pullbacks, better equity curve. Is I would rather run, find or make 10 or so of these than run one of like these. I mean, it's not that much difference. Just the drawdown is a bit higher, so it's probably because the money, the fixed risk is higher. But 69 is still a good result. Something that you could go with. You can see the equity curve is not as good as the previous one. But that's it. Okay, so we've got half an hour. So let's call it a night there. Thank you guys for watching. As you can see, we found some decent settings. We could try some others, but I mean, play with your play around yourself. Try the different indicators. It's very cool to go see like what they actually do and what the signal is, because like I say, don't ever trade something that you don't know why it's entering, because then it will enter trade and you're like, well, why did it enter? You need to understand why it entered a trade. So if we go to, you want to just say, I just want to show you the help file. Let's see if I've got any questions. Okay, so if you go to the help file, I'm just going to call it test. Everyone's got an explanation. So this is like awesome oscillator. So this is sort of like some sort of trend following, maybe. If you're looking for a trend following strategy, you'll go with this. And yeah, they've got all the signals that you could use. And that's adaptive moving average. And you can read exactly when the signals are triggered. And then if you take two signals, awesome oscillator, this is pretty cool. Also sort of like a trend following system. So this will be good for longer time frames. Bear power, bull power. Marker, that's also very similar to the commodity channel index. Failed breakout. That's also a trend following system. Trend following again. So play around, try add, but I wouldn't add more than two. I think if you add a whole bunch, it's just not going to make sense. Like always add, if you could do some sort of mean reversion strategy, add one moving average or some sort of trend following system and a mean reversion system. If you are like the relative strength, if you are doing like some sort of Trend following, I wouldn't go there more than 2. So maybe you could add a MACD and a, but I don't think go more than 2. Always stick to 2 indicators. Else it's just gonna, you won't get into any trades. You'll still have 3 or 4 trades, and that will be it. Rate percentage. So play around, have fun with it, and then the next time we're going to be doing an oil EA, and then we're going to do a EA for Nasdaq, and then from then on, I think we're going to start doing some programming from scratch tutorials. All right, so hope you enjoyed the stream. Please hit the like, hit the notifications, hit the subscribe. It would be much better if you are here with me live. You could ask questions. So thanks and have a good night. Cheers.